Warning: the following is an expression of opinion, not fact, and may contain explicit language not suitable for children or those with media grade IQs. Viewer discretion is advised. Good day, Duval, Jacksonville, Florida, America, world. This is the DuVillain Show, one of the only honest, trustworthy, and informed Jacksonville football shows with unfiltered opinions and discussions. Daily. Alright, guys. What a week. What a week it's been. It's been a roller coaster. We've been bludgeoned with Mason Graham over and over again, but we've had some light, some wiggle room, a way out. Maybe Ashton Genty might be the solution. I'm hoping so, because the 5th overall pick requires calculation, and from my calculation, Mason Graham isn't it. You know, not having to mention this person, I'm not even wanting to say it like that because he hasn't done anything wrong. He's a great kid. It's I hate having to talk about it like this, but I love my team, and I am tired of my team getting pushed around by all of you. I'm tired of it. I'm not going to take it anymore. I won't. I just won't. I'm calling you out from now on, and I will hold you all accountable. Mason Graham, by my calculation, isn't the answer. He's not it. I will be glad to not have to mention him for a long time. You know, I hope he has a great career. But I feel like we can get a player that'll have an even better career. And from what I'm looking at, the tools in the tools you have just aren't enough. James Gladstone this week held a press conference with Liam Cohen, head coach, discussing the draft pick amongst other things. And one thing that kind of struck me as a little odd was his reasoning behind not caring so much about combine and watching workouts and having in-person meetings with people. Those things can be used to measure someone's physical and mental abilities. And his reply to being asked about this, I am definitely not good at saying that word. His reply to being asked about this was that they have their own tools for measuring in-game speed. They have their own proprietary tools that give them a competitive advantage, which I respect. More power to you, but I'm trying to reason to self. Maybe it's not Mason Graham for you just saying that. Maybe you're speaking of someone who has in-game speed that that matters to you. So like maybe this is Ashton Genty because you're talking about in-game speed, and maybe that's why you don't need to see him at the combine run, which I totally get that. That makes sense for Ashton Genty. That does not make sense for Mason Graham, because the 40 time to a layman is not just about speed. It's about other things than that. Your ability to explode. How fast can you get from one place to another? That's measuring your strength and power to be able to accelerate. That's one aspect of it. Your ability. How high can you jump? How explosive are you? That's another aspect of your power. How you're generating power. How far forward can you jump? How far can you jump? That's measuring another aspect of your explosiveness. These things matter. Those times matter. Those cone drills as well matter. Like, all of these things, they matter. They wouldn't be doing it if they didn't matter for some reason. And it's good to see them stacked next to each other so that you can compare the athleticism for the next level, and also marry that with the tape you've seen from them, and also marry that with your time in front of them. Because I get that you might have people who go and do investigations, private investigators. I totally get that. But you kind of need to look a man in the eyes, don't you? I mean, that matters still. I get that, and you're not much younger than me. So you're a millennial. So I mean, looking someone in the eye matters. And I know you might have already looked a lot of these guys at the prospective prospects in the eye. You've already spoken to people that know them, that you trust. I get that, but it still would be. And I totally get it. I think that, hell, I think Mason Graham is a great guy. I think Ashton Genty is a great guy. I think a lot of these kids are great guys. Honestly, I even think Tedero McMillan is a great guy. He just said something really silly. I think a lot of these guys say silly stuff like that. He was just being honest. I mean, not say silly stuff like that, but do silly things like that, like not want to practice. You know what I mean? They're kids. They're supposed to not want to practice. They don't develop those urges until they get a little older, and they having to compete against other people that are at another level. It kind of draws it out of you, and they've been the top of the food chain, probably where they've gone. So it's like you kind of have to look at it from a human perspective. But I'm sorry, but like they're comparing this guy they're paying Mason Graham to Aaron Donald and the like. And I'm like, no. Aaron Donald showed you that in his competition, in his combines. Aaron, you could literally see that on tape with Aaron Donald, how powerful he was, how fast he was. You didn't really need to question too much about that. And dude, he has great technique. A lot of and he works really hard. I get that, but there's a capacity. I remember working out with guys. I remember working out with guys. Sometimes I was the guy that was stronger, and the other guy working out with me could never catch me. And then there would be guys that I remember working out with that I could never catch them. We were about the same size. I just wasn't strong enough to beat them in bench. I just could never catch them. You know what I mean? It's like, some people are just different in certain ways, man. It's not a bad thing. I'm just saying, like in terms of what I'm seeing, I'm just seeing that I'm not seeing the power dominance, and he didn't display the power dominance. And getting back to whatever tools they're using to calculate in-game speed, that makes sense for Ashton Genty. Calculating his in-game speed, being able to how he's generating his power out of his cuts, how he's able to explode, and with the pads on, and that makes sense. I totally get that. That makes sense. I would value that more than a 40 time as well. I totally would. That makes sense. But that only makes sense to players like Ashton Genty, like a wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like a cornerback, or a safety closing speed, or a linebacker that kind of plays out, that closes. That makes sense. Alignment, worrying about that, I would want to see how much power you can generate. And he didn't show that, and that's a calculation in my head. If you're not displaying that to me, I'm weary of that. And I'm not seeing that overwhelming dominance in that respect. I've seen great technique. I've seen great fundamentals out of him. I really have. He's a really good player. But for a 5th pick overall, I'm thinking more if I can get him in the 2nd, I'm happy. You know, get some weight on him. You know, I can live with him in the 2nd. I would rather him still in the 3rd or later, to be, if I'm being honest here, because I think there's still better players. If I'm being honest here, I'm just being honest. Like and it's like you don't want to do this, but the media's kind of pushed you to this by they're just like we all can see this. If you were looking at this objectively, you're saying that this guy is really worth the 5th overall pick. When I'm looking at the tape, let's just move on a little bit here. When I'm looking at the tape, I'm seeing other players, and I'm seeing Grant get a lot of the double teams. And I'm seeing Grant playing the 1 technique that we need more over the 3 technique. I'm seeing Grant being a very competent heads-up player. He really is. He is Johnny on the spot. If you're talking about intangibles in a game, I'm talking about in-game intangibles. Grant's what you want. Grant's what you want. I mean, if we're going to be picking at that position, at 5th overall, I mean, nah, I could see him more than Mason Graham. I would be more willing to accept that more than Mason Graham, because he is actually something that we don't really have. He's big. He's long. He's explosive. I want that if I'm gonna get anything from there like that. Yeah. And I still wouldn't be mad at you if you picked Mason Graham in the 2nd, if you got him, because then that's really crazy. But I mean, we really don't need all that. But I think we still got players that didn't even get a chance to play the whole season, and then when they got a chance to play, they were good. They were playing excellent out there. And then we had another player who's played defensive tackle his entire career and was great at it, known for it, and he played a completely different position, like halfway last year. So, I mean, resources need to be allocated reasonably. I mean, just think about it in those perspectives. Let's just, again, this is the 5th overall pick calculation. We need to bring it all together. I'm looking at Nolan, and I'm looking at Harmon. I'm looking at a few other guys. Just them for particular. Just look at how deep they penetrate. Look how much, like when they get off, look how far back they get into the backfield initially and deeper. How much more production they get than Mason Graham. They have better production. They get deeper penetration. They're bigger. What are we talking about here? Please get out of this genjutsu the media has got you guys in. Every single year, there's stupid mock drafts when you're going to look at them. A year later, you're going to be like, wow, they were really off about this. Every single year, they're off about so many. And why do you think that is? A lot of the times, it's not about how good a player is. It's about marketing. However you want to think of that word. It's about marketing, and marketing comes in many aspects. You know, some things are more marketable than others. Some resources are longer than others. You know, like you really got to think about this. I mean, every single year. You're like, how did you not see this? I mean, honestly, I don't see how you didn't see Brian Thomas Jr. If you looked at, like, if you really look at it from a calculation perspective, if you look at the overall body of work of Brian Thomas Jr., two-sport athlete, like literally he was on a team known for wide receivers with a top wide receiver. And he had more touchdowns than that guy. He had more touchdowns than anybody. More production than anybody. Why was he? I mean, and like, if you had to look at that, like, you really have to think about that. So much production. And then when you look at his measurables at the combine, he was out jumping everybody. He was out running everybody. He was bigger than other dudes. Why do you? I mean, he gets in the NFL and he's the best of all of those guys, and we're surprised. No, man, you got to take all of that into account, man. Like, they had you guys telling you that Odunze was better, Marvin Jones Jr. was better, Neighbors was better. No, man, you have to recognize talent when you see it. When you see this guy play, he's doing magical things. I get on this rant because sometimes you see players and we just pass them by. We just don't stack them up. Like, oh, they'll let us talk us out of getting great players just to get a. I don't want to call it basic. Mason Graham looks like a basic player in the NFL to me. And this is what we've always been suckered into or tricked into. You know, I mean, like, there's really, honestly, if you really think about it, there's really no reason for him not to tell everybody who we're picking, really. If we really want to think about it, he kind of already, I don't know. I think it's going to be out of Genty and it's going to be out of Mason Graham. And I think Mason Graham would be the biggest mistake of a general manager's initial career picking someone. This is your initial pick. This is your career defining pick here. It really is. This really is. I would put my money on Ashton Genty. Man, we've been saying this guy's name so damn much. I almost said it just now. I would put my money on Ashton Genty more than I would Mason Graham. I mean, he just looks like he's more of a star. He's going to do way more in terms of our overall offense than Mason Graham will do on our defense interior. And then you really think this little guy's going to come in here. He's going to be pushing guys around and he's going to demand respect of Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines Allen. Are you serious? He's going to demand respect of all the other defensive players. Like, are you serious? And they're gonna see that everybody's gonna see because it's a different level, man. It's a different level. And this guy, he came in underweight at the combine and didn't even compete. I mean, if you came in that small, you should have been running because you should have been way more. You should have been way more explosive and way faster than you usually would be at a heavier weight. So then your numbers would be great. But you were apprehensive of that for some reason. And I want to mention this: the biggest gobbler, Jen Jag, talking about. I've not heard anybody else say this, but the biggest gobbler, Jen Jag of Mason Graham, said that he was injured and that's why he didn't do it. But then why didn't he do it as pro day? You said he had a minor injury at the combine and that's why he didn't do it. He wasn't so injured that he couldn't bench press, and he didn't even do. You got short arms, and you put up that many reps. If you should have been putting up way more reps than that with those short arms at that size, and you do have a small frame, and it feels like I'm just bagging on the dude, but I care about my team, and I'm not finna let you guys come in here, you interlopers, come in here and disgrace my team any further without me having any say. Someone needs to be a watcher, and I'm going to be the man to do it. I'm tired of it, man. It's foolishness. I mean, like, honestly, I listen to a lot of you guys. I listen to a lot of you guys when I'm working, and when I'm listening to you, I don't even think you believe what you're saying. I don't think you believe what you're saying. I think it's a network. And guys, believe me, there are networks that have names circulating around. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to say any names of any networks, but they got names that they want to keep circulating around. You know, there's a reason why if you speak out against Mason Graham, your post will be deleted. There's a reason why they will suppress your posts. That's really weird. And that's what really got me thinking that there's something, I don't know. I don't really know, but I don't know. There is a reason why. I don't know the reason. But there's a rabbit hole here. There's a rabbit hole there, and I am afraid for my team. And we got another, few more days to go, guys. And I've been holding my tongue. I've been biting that mother. I've been biting it hard to not say anything. I want to give GM Gladstone, head coach Cohen, and EV Tony Pacelli. I want to give them their proper due. And they was just letting them do their job and just stepping, just going with it. But at some point, you just not. I'm not letting this happen. I'm not stupid. Everybody with any. I mean, I'm not trying to. I'm sorry, but like I feel like if you think Mason Graham is worth that pick, I don't really think you're worth listening to. I think if you think Mason Graham is worth the 5th pick in your heart, I don't really think you're worth listening to. And I know like a lot of the media who know that that's not the truth and that had to say that. I know guys that have had to say that, and then they got to back off of it, and they'll do their best. They'll do their best to kind of put you in on another prospect. They don't want to get tied in. They don't want to go down on record for like pushing this guy, because they know, so be very careful. What, like, there's a thing of programming. It works. If you don't think that that's the truth, I mean, people are being educated to do it to you. They're being educated to do this to you, and it's like what I've been seeing. Like with Mason Graham, it feels like the same thing to me. It really does. Let's move on a little bit. And the workout from Graham, if I'm putting that in my calculation, I've seen some things I want to discuss. He did have great hands, in my opinion. I like the hands. Those some nice hands. I get what people are saying about his hands and how powerful they are. I totally get that. He kept his momentum forward. I like how he pushes through forward, and you don't really see that too much with a lot of these guys. But I do like that. He has some good stuff. He has some good stuff that I saw. So, and it's like I said, it's not all bad. I'm just saying, like, at 5th overall, it's just not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. Does he stay low? Not low enough. We don't even have sound data on his explosiveness. So that's why I'm like, I'm not seeing. I see him getting through. Like, I see with technique. And I see him getting through, like he's getting that penetration, but I'm not seeing the production. I'm seeing it on a few things, but I'm not seeing that consistently enough for people to be saying this guy's a penetrator. I'm not seeing the production. I mean, you see some flashes. You see flashes with technique, and I saw him like he basically like pancaked the guy with some great technique. Like it was great. It was great. I was like, it was some. I don't really remember what kind of move it was, but he had that guy flat. It was a nice move, but we talking about consistency here. We're talking about people that we want to wear on our opposing offense. Bigger bodies wear on you more than a smaller body does. A bigger body has a better chance of doing. A more explosive body has a better chance of penetrating and disrupting more than a small body using technique does. That we're hoping to do this. Let's just make sense here, people. Let's just make sense. That's not what you want with the 5th overall pick. And these people telling you otherwise are lying to you. Too many of the other defensive candidates look more powerful to me. Just too many of the other candidates in general look better. Look at Ashton Genty. Look at Tedero McMillan. Look at Mimbu. Look at Campbell. Look at Barron. Look at Warren. Look at Walker. They look better. They're better. They're better for us. They're a better fit for us there. The best move for us is a move back or getting Travis Hunter. That's the best move. But if we can't get Travis Hunter, we can't move back. Ashton Genty sounds very good. Tedero McMillan sounds very good. Mimbu sounds very good. Campbell sounds very good. Barron sounds very good. Warren, Walker. The media. It's time. Time will tell a lot of things. But time will hold you accountable, and so will I. Because I'm gonna praise the ones that are worthy of praise. And I am going to smite the ones this isn't a threat, by the way. This isn't a physical threat. This is like I'm going to expose you by repeating the gibberish and the trash that you've been putting out through the airways, and you're hoping people forget. I'm going to make sure that people don't forget. I'm going to make sure we all remember. I ain't going nowhere. All right. So now you're going to have to do your jobs a little bit better. Because if you don't, and I see that you're doing something, or I feel you're doing something that isn't good for our team. And I don't know if this is coming from Gladstone. I don't know if this is coming from just the NFL just not wanting Jacksonville to succeed. So you're just giving us another player where you're like, oh, your GM can just fall on his sword, like not have to fall on this. Like, that's a bad analogy here. Like, your GM doesn't have to cop to making a bad pick, because everybody thought that should have been the pick. You should have saw what all the mock drafts said. Everybody and their mother said it should have been a pick. It's a way out. It's like giving him a way out by giving us a player they want to market, or it feels like they want to market. It feels to me like they want to market. I don't have any proof of this, not substantial proof of any of this, but in my opinion, from what I've seen, heard, and listened to, observed, whatever. I said a lot of things that were the same thing, but from what I've gathered, it looks like these people, to me, a lot of them, not all, are not doing the best for what's best for the Jaguars, and they know it. You know, so that's the much as I'm gonna put on that right there. I'll let you gather what you gather from that, but they are the reasons. You know, they are the reasons for this, and like there's some just horrible. Now I'm not saying that these people are doing nefarious things. I just think that there's some just horrible media people out there. You know, aside from networks that might be trying to push things on the Jaguars, the Jaguar fans, Duval fans. There's some individuals that I think are just really horrible at their job, and I'm like, if they had a regular job and they were just horrible, we get fired. But they're like John Osher for instance, this guy he's like he cracks jokes about like other like players like coming into the draft and decisions being made, and he's one of the worst analysts there are. He had everybody pushing Blake Bortles for a good minute. He was hyped. Like, a lot of these people never said anything and spoke out about a lot of foolishness. He's been here a long time, co-signed a lot of foolishness. Nobody ever says anything about it. I mean, Jen Jag, the most like unpassionate person I've ever seen in my life in terms of something. Like, you get up every day and you talk about this so unpassionately. Like, you don't even care. I feel like you don't even care about this team the way you talk. I really don't think you care. It feels like you're a little bit of a, I don't know. I'm not gonna say that because I don't have any proof of it, but I don't know. I don't like you, to be honest with you. I think a lot of you guys should just leave town, and a lot of you are not even in town. You're in Orlando, probably hoping Jacksonville go to Orlando or some shit. Like Austin Lane, like these trash analysts, and you used to be a Jaguar too, and you say things that set our franchise back, and now you don't want to even bring it up. Like, you push the Jaguars winning a unconsequential game. There was no reason for us to win that game. We had nothing to gain from sweeping the Titans. We had lost just one of those games, we'd be number one selecting. And you're sitting up here pushing that like that was the thing to do. Even you're not a player anymore. It's like you should be a fan of this team and what's right for this team. And I don't see how you couldn't see that was the best thing for this team. Is to lose. Sometimes the best move is to lose. Like you lost the entire season. You couldn't lose one more. You couldn't lose one more for the city. Seriously, like we could have had so much more capital, like serious capital. We could have traded back and still gotten Travis Hunter. I mean, God, just like these trash animals. I'm like you could just let me O'Brien, Gus Lowe, Glazing, Dave Powell. Discuss like Mike Dempsey. We got Matt Jones for a reason. It's horrible people over the years, man. And don't get me started on these like Travis Holmes, Goblin. I have respect for some of you guys, and then you guys like do some of the most goblinest things ever. You suppress people because they don't agree with a topic you talking about. They don't agree with a topic you talking about in your show, and you suppress their comments because they don't agree with you. That were sound comments. It's insane. And he's not the only one. He's not the only one deleting comments and suppressing comments. Or suppressing comments. He's not the only one. a lot of you guys are just like, it's very cowardly. Stand on your business. Stand on your square. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be afraid. Stand on your business. Let everybody see what you got to say. Let everybody see the challenges and critiques. Go ahead. Why not? If you're the best, if you're the good analyst, you should be able to be able to justify what you're saying, but you know you can't. And I just hate to see T-Wig doing the most. I'm not gonna get into that too much. A lot of these guys, man, like even just like a lot of the fans, I'm like, you guys are just like the big fans. I've lost a lot of respect for a lot of you guys. Like I honestly, is like you're not even critiquing the bad part of this side. You're just only talking about the good part. You're just pumping, and it's obvious. I'm tired of it, guys. So there has to be a counterbalance, and that's me, buddy. You know, there has to be a counterbalance, because all of these media people, you know, need to be exposed. And I'm no longer talking about the other guys that I think just not doing really good jobs. That's just my opinion. You know, the guys I just mentioned their names directly, I just don't think they do good jobs. I don't trust their opinions. I don't think Jaguar fans should listen to them. I think they should listen to media that's more accurate and that's giving clearer facts than the trash that we've been given. Because you shouldn't have never been told that you should get Leonard Fournette. You should have never been told that garbage, that trash. You should have never been told that. You know? You bought it. Luke Jokel, Blake Bortles. You bought it. All of this stuff, all of these games. You know? A lot of this stuff being pushed. These guys just aren't good at. A lot of these guys just aren't good at their jobs, or worse. You know, and they're guilty of one or more of these egregious acts that we have to look out for. They either lying to you, they're glazing players unduly that shouldn't even be on this team. A lot of that's been happening. You know what I mean? Like they shouldn't even be on this team, not contributing the way they should, because these factors that don't make sense to me. I'm not going to try and speculate too much. I don't want to get myself in trouble. But the glazing of the GMs of past and present. I'm not going to say to present. No, let's leave present out. He hasn't made a move yet that I disagree with. But man, if what I'm hearing or what they're speculating is true, I'm scared for this team. I hope he makes the right decision. But the GMs of the past, you glazing these people that shouldn't even been here, and they just stayed for too long and destroyed this team. Countless of them. Oh, sorry. They're suppressing the feedback the fans are trying to give, deleting it. A lot of that's been happening, and not just this year. It's been happening for over decades. I've seen this. You know, going back to the message board days with the Jaguars. You know, like they didn't like you telling the truth. And turns out I was right about a lot of stuff. Turns out I was right. The Jaguar, go back and look it up. Go back and look me up. So, yeah, telling Jag fans to root. Oh, I already gone over this. To root for games not of consequence. And hurting our draft pick. I mean, just stop talking like that, man. If we're out of it, let's stop rooting for the Jags to win. I'm just be straight up with you. It's not good for us. If we wouldn't have done that, we would have so much more resources, and we wouldn't be arguing over Mason Graham. We'd be talking about Travis Hunter. We'd be in Travis Hunter territory. We be in multiple first round pick territory, guys. I think that would help our team a lot more than Mason Graham at 5, right? Let's make sense here, people. They're not here to help us. They're here to hurt us. They're acting like you're stupid, telling you this foolishness. I'm tired of the softness. You don't want our team to be soft. You don't be soft. Listen to the truth. Stop listening to these cream puffs on the air telling you the worst. Doing the most. And another aspect of this, their egregious crimes against Duval and the fan base, is just not being good at your job, in my opinion. I've already gone over this. I've already talked to you about some people I don't think are good at their job. I actually really do think T-Wick is good at his job. But that Mason Graham goblin was just unbearable. It was unbearable. It's unbearable to listen to this. It's like you listen to them, they don't even sound like they believe it. Not just T-Wig. You know, like, it's just, to me, they don't sound like they believe it. And the worst sin of all that I've heard from a lot of different media outlets, not naming any names, is that they don't care. They don't sound like they care to me. They don't care about this team. They'll push out whatever somebody else said and go with that. Because that makes more sense than what I'm seeing from their, in terms of their analytical capabilities. Now, it's up to GM Gladstone. It's up to Liam Cohen, head coach. It's up to EV Tony Pacelli to make the right decision. And they got to figure this out. What's the upsides to this? What's the downsides to this? More importantly, who's the best player? Honestly, who's the best player? You can't compare Genty to Fournette. Genty's numbers are better than Fournette's, and Genty's not the same type of person Fournette is. Go back and look at Fournette and how he acted when he was on this team. Ashton Genty is a flag bearer, and he was born here. Stop playing with me. I love you, Duval.
Duval.
Come on, Joe!
Okay, let's go. Steal the show. Duval.